Hey guys, what's up? It's All About Mike 18 here. Guys, I'm going to be bringing you another movie review today. And in the video, I'm going to be reviewing a new independent drama film that came out last weekend. And you probably never heard of this movie if you haven't seen the trailers. And it probably didn't come to your theater because it was given a limited release, of course. With that being said, guys, I'm going to be discussing in this video Joe. Now, Joe is directed by David Gordon Green, and it stars Nicolas Cage, Tye Sheridan, and Gary Poulter. Now, as I said a few seconds ago about the limited release thing, guys, yes, I know, many films that are given limited releases do not come to my theater. They don't, okay? A good majority of them don't. That makes it very difficult for me to get a chance to see these movies. So, I didn't see this movie in the theaters, obviously. I watched it online on a movie website that you can watch it down below. I'll leave the link to the whole movie down below. Now, I do not condone movie websites that upload films right onto the website as soon as they come out in the theaters. I don't condone anything like that. But it's just very frustrating when an indie film comes out in a very limited release. You can't see it, you want to see it, and it's right online for you to watch. That's why I end up watching it. So, I still, if you want to check out the movie, click the link down below, you can watch it. I would recommend checking it out if you want to see it because, you know, and there's no viruses or anything, you know, nothing, you don't have to pay anything. It's just a simple way to watch it without having to wait for it to come out on Blu-ray, which is very frustrating for me. But that's what I did with Enemy earlier in the week. I had to watch it online. I couldn't help it. I want to see these indies, and they're just not coming to my theater because they're so good, and it sucks. But anyway, guys, yeah, so Joe is a movie. When I watched the trailer for it, I was like, oh, okay, it looks interesting. Nothing too special. A lot of people, when they first watched the trailer for Joe, they were like, oh, this looks like Mud 2, you know, it's got Tye Sheridan. Yes, I understand why people would say that after watching the trailer. This looks like Mud 2. It stars Tye Sheridan again. It's set in the country. Both Joe and Mud, it's kind of funny. Both of those movies, the title of the film is 3 letters. The main character in both movies has the name, like in this movie, Joe, the main character in the film is Joe. In Mud, the main character in the film in Mud is Mud. So it's a little, you know, similar that way, but story-wise, the movies are completely different. Maybe you have the basic premise of the father figure, meaning a young boy. Both of those movies have that similar premise, but in the end, they're 2 completely different films. So I just wanted to, you know, make all that known and stop all, you know, all those rumors spreading. Oh, Joe is Mud 2. It's not. It's not. It's different. So yeah, after watching Joe, I'm gonna say that, and in comparing it to Mud, I mean, this is nowhere near as good as Mud in my opinion. I'm not gonna compare it to Mud because it's not similar to Mud in that sense. But Mud was one of my favorite movies of last year. It was my favorite movie of last year. It's one of my favorite films of all time. What I meant to say. And you can't overpass Mud, in my opinion, for me. That's Mud. So, it's very hard for a movie like Joe to do that, and Joe really didn't. Joe was just an average, nothing too special, indie drama with really good performances, actually. And that's what you can ultimately take away from this film. But anyway, getting into the premise, which I will describe for you guys now. Joe, of course, stars Nicolas Cage as the title character. Now, Joe has lived a very difficult past life. He's been in and out of jail, and he's trying to get back on the right path and avoid that past life and avoid, you know, getting mixed up with the wrong people again and getting thrown in jail again. And he's trying very hard. He's part of this, like, kind of like deforestation program where they're like cutting down trees for like a useful purpose. They explain it in the movie. And at some point in the beginning of the movie, Joe meets a young 15-year-old boy played by Tye Sheridan. Now, Tye Sheridan's character in this movie is also living a difficult life, but a little bit different from Joe's life, in that Tye Sheridan's life is really messed up because he has a terrible family life. Not only are they kind of poor, but he has an alcoholic father who really doesn't give a crap about Tye Sheridan or his whole family. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat the father, right? He's an alcoholic, he's an asshole, okay? The father is a complete asshole in this movie. Not the type of father you'd want to have raising you from the moment you're born. So Tye Sheridan is really having a tough time with his dad, and he's trying to support his family by working for Joe. And Joe is, now faced with this difficult decision. Do I not get my hands dirty and try to help and not help this kid out in any way, or should I try to help him out, and because he's having a difficult family life and his father's a complete ass? But if I do, am I going to be sent back down that very bad path that I'm trying to escape? So that's the difficult dilemma that Joe has to face in this film, and that's basically what the movie is completely about. Now, Joe, guys, is a movie that I think, like I said, was very well acted and directed, and the story writing, it's nothing we've not seen before. We've seen plot points in movies where a kid's having a very difficult family life, and then he meets a father figure. We've seen it before. Like I said, that's kind of similar to what happened in Mud, but Joe is still in the second and third act of the film. It's its own type of movie. And, it just really impressed me in the second and third act with the tension that slowly built. It's kind of that slow, dumbed down tension. And the performances really ended up catching my eye with this film. But the first act, the first 40 minutes, had problems with it, okay? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat this movie. Had problems with it. And I'll get into all that later on in the review. But right now, I'd like to discuss the performances, which I actually want to take a few minutes to discuss because they're important. Let's talk about Nicolas Cage for a second, starring as the title character Joe. Now, I know a lot of people are not fans of Nicolas Cage, and most people are because they're very entertained by him and in his roles, and a lot of people feel that Nicolas Cage just isn't a serious actor. You can never take the guy seriously. I understand that. I understand why you would say that. I've seen him in videos on YouTube because I haven't seen all of his movies. I've only seen a few Nicolas Cage movies, to be honest. I think, and one of the only ones I've seen was Kick-Ass, and that's the most recent one I remember seeing, actually. And I know you cannot take him too seriously in that role at all. In this movie, he has a lot more serious role to perform. And so a lot was riding on him for this movie. I could tell because a lot of people can't take him seriously. So a lot of people are either going to be laughing at him as he's acting in this serious role, or they're going to be completely invested in his character, and they're going to believe what his character is going through. And I think by the end of the film, I think you can say that you thought Nicolas Cage did this serious role very well, and I think you did. I don't recall any time in this film where I felt like the movie didn't feel serious at all, because it did, because he played this role very well. And the fact that it's Nicolas Cage doing it, it makes it a lot more unbelievable. He does do an excellent job in this extremely serious role about this guy who's dealing with this difficult decision he has to make in this difficult past life. And I completely bought it. There were a couple scenes where I'm like, you know what, Cage, you're doing a very good job in this movie. And he did. I completely bought his performance. As for Tye Sheridan, you guys know that I really loved him in Mud. Just that how he showed us how much raw emotion he can display as an actor, and how he acted in Mud with that raw emotion. His character was trying to deal with the concept of love, and I thought he did an amazing job in Mud. I couldn't wait to see him in this movie. I thought he gave a very good performance in this movie. I thought Mud demanded a lot more out of him, but this movie, still, he displays that emotion in this movie, but his character is a lot more, independent, and he's very determined. And I liked Tye Sheridan's character in this movie. I thought he gave an amazing performance. I can't wait to see what this kid does next. He's a young child actor, and he's been in he's acted very well in 2 movies already, 2 indies, and I can't wait to see him in a bigger role. I want to see this kid do more. And of course, he's older in this film, he's taller, and he's gone through puberty already, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do next, actually. I'm very impressed with Tye Sheridan. And him and Nicolas Cage had very good chemistry in this movie. I definitely have to praise that. Now, as for Gary Poulter in the movie, Gary Poulter plays the alcoholic father of Tye Sheridan. And quick story I want to talk about Gary Poulter. He was a homeless alcoholic living on the streets when the casting director randomly found him, I guess where they were shooting the movie, and they're like, we want you to come and audition for this role. He came in, auditioned, he got the part. This was like his second acting job in history. He'd never done anything else except for this movie, and I think one other thing he did before. He did an amazing job in this movie as this alcoholic man that you just wanted to just slap, You just wanted to beat the crap out of this guy for the way he was treating his family and Tye Sheridan in particular. And he gave a great performance that I know is going to get overlooked by the Independent Film Spirit Awards, because maybe he's nomination worthy. He was really, really good in this movie, as was Tye Sheridan and Nicolas Cage. And I know this movie isn't going to get Oscar love or anything like that. I don't expect it to. But in terms of independent film awards, this movie's going to get completely overlooked, and that's a shame because Gary Poulter was really good, as were the other two actors, Tye Sheridan and Nicolas Cage. And Gary Poulter, the tragic thing about him is he passed away 2 months after they finished filming this movie, I guess from, the fact that he was alcoholic. So that's very unfortunate, and that's very upsetting, actually, that he died after filming this movie, and he was so good in it. But anyway, the performances is what really saved the movie for me, guys, and that's what I really enjoyed and took away from this experience of watching Joe. And in the end, after everything, I've thought about it, and I'm going to give Joe an 8.25 out of 10. It's not an extraordinary film. It's not, a masterpiece of a film. It is a average, not too special film at best, with very good performances, and is very well directed by David Gordon Green. So getting into the things I liked about the movie, like I said, all those performances that are going to be very overlooked in the next few months in terms of independent film award talk, and that's very unfortunate. The movie is very good in terms of acting. This is definitely the actor's film, and that's why I enjoyed Joe. Like I said, the movie was very well directed by David Gordon Green, who I think did Pineapple Express in the past and a couple other movies, so it was nice to see him do an independent film like this, and I think he did a very good job directing these actors to give the performances that they gave, give the emotion that they had to give, and I think that was a good job on David Gordon Green's part. I thought the score was very good. I definitely got to praise the score in a couple scenes, especially in the opening shot. I thought the score was very, very good. A little haunting, in my opinion. And in a few other scenes, I think the score fit the mood of the film, and I was really impressed with it. I thought the ending of the movie was satisfying. I think this is a tale of growth for Tye Sheridan's character and redemption for Nicolas Cage's character. And by the end of the film, I think that that message was very, obviously present in the movie, and I thought the ending was very, very satisfying, in my opinion. With what happened to the two main characters, I was very impressed with it. And as for the writing, like I said, the first 40 minutes kind of felt a little, very slow, a little boring, but the second and the third act of the movie I thought was tense and very engaging, and I couldn't wait to see what would happen to the main character. So I got to praise the movie for all that. But in the end, that's really all I'm going to praise the movie for. It's not like the cinematography was mind-blowing or the lighting or the set design and all of that, the production design and all that they did for the film. So that's why I'm going to get into the problems I had with the movie. Like I said, I did enjoy a lot about this movie, mainly the performances, but when it comes to the story, the first 40 minutes, I just couldn't get hooked into this movie. I don't know what it was. I was like fidgeting around while I was watching it. I just couldn't get attached to the characters or the story or what they were explaining or what they were showing. I thought like there were some scenes that didn't even need to be there. There were scenes of Nicolas Cage going around town, going to different people's houses, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna have a birthday party tonight, Joe. You want to come? Hey, Joe, how you doing, buddy?" And he's like meeting all these people that he knows apparently, or people that know him, and it's just like none of those scenes mattered really. They just weren't relevant, and I thought they were just there because they were there. And I thought the first 40 minutes, it didn't get going from the movie. Felt very slow and boring until about halfway in. And then halfway in, I was into the movie. And that is my main problem with the film. And then one of my other minor faults I have with the movie is the fact that I don't think they fully developed Nicolas Cage's character. And they didn't give him a proper backstory. You know what I'm talking about? I think that they could have developed his character more and, explained about why his character has had a difficult past life, maybe given reasons why, he's been in and out of jail. I mean, they explain it in like one scene, but they really don't get into it any other time, really. And I was like, oh, that's a little unfortunate for me. I think they could have, shown us a few flashbacks in the beginning, except for those useless scenes that didn't mean anything. And, maybe given the audience reasons as to why, maybe he's had issues, growing up his whole life. I don't know, but I feel that they didn't fully develop his backstory like they should have or like they could have, and that's why I ultimately didn't care for that character until about 40-50 minutes into the movie. And with that being said, that's really all I have to say about the movie. So like I said, it's an average, not too special film at best. It's a decent independent drama that I think fans of independent filmmaking will enjoy. I personally thought it was okay. I'm going to give it, like I said, 8.25 out of 10. It's a decent film. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, you want to see it, Link is down below. Check it out for yourselves. But if you did already see Joe, guys, let me know down below what you thought about it. Very good acted movie. Nothing too special about it. And with those faults, that's why I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching my review. I hope you enjoyed it and the movie if you saw it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.